My child, listen to me with every ounce of your being, because what I am about to say carries the weight of eternity, and you do not have a luxury of time. The veil between this moment and what comes next is thinner than you realize, and the window to act is closing with every heartbeat that passes. I am speaking now not as a distant idea, not as a silent figure watching from the heavens, but as your creator, the one who breathed life into your lungs before the world knew your name, the one who weeps with you in silence and walks beside you in shadows. I am speaking of your child, the one you have carried in your heart since before they were born, the one who was gifted to you not by chance, but by divine assignment. There is something happening in the realm beyond your vision, a stirring, a shift in the spiritual atmosphere that has already begun to affect their future. Forces that do not come from me have noticed the light within your child, and these forces have devised a plan to dim that light, to turn promise into pain, to plant seeds of confusion where clarity should bloom. I have shielded them thus far, but now I call upon you, because you are not just their parent by blood. You are their guardian by spiritual covenant. What you decide in the next 10 minutes will determine the path they walk for years. There's someone in their life right now, someone you may have overlooked, trusted, even welcomed, whose presence is not what it seems. This person smiles with hollow warmth, but they carry the energy of a serpent, wrapping lies in kindness, offering advice laced with deception, whispering things into your child's mind that were never part of my plan. You must be vigilant, not paranoid, but prophetic. Trust not just what you see, but what you sense, for I've already placed signs around you, dreams that seemed strange, moments that made your heart race for no reason, that pit in your stomach when a certain name is mentioned. That is not anxiety, it is discernment. That is me, screaming through the noise of your day, begging you to wake up, to pay attention, to act. There's a decision you've been putting off, a confrontation you've been avoiding, and I tell you now, it can no longer wait. If you delay, the enemy will advance. But if you move in faith, I will send angels before your words, I will empower your voice, and I will make what seems impossible bend to the authority of divine truth. You were not given this child by accident, and you were not chosen for this message without reason. Heaven is watching, your ancestors are interceding, and even now, your child's spirit is crying out for protection they cannot articulate but deeply need. This is not just about today. This is about unlocking a future free from a trap that has been silently prepared. I will not let darkness win if you rise now. I will give you visions, dreams, boldness you did not know lived inside of you. I will open doors you cannot see, and I will close the mouths of those who speak poison into their journey. You think you're unprepared, but I have been preparing you for this since before you were born. All the pain you went through, the betrayals, the lessons, they were fire forging you for this hour. You think you're just a parent, but in my eyes, you are a warrior, a prophet, a light bearer standing between your child and the darkness that wants to devour. And I say this, if you obey my voice, you will see a shift within days. Miracles will begin to manifest. You will notice your child's words change, their emotions stabilize, their eyes gain peace they have not known in years. But you must act now. Time is not on your side, but I am, and I do not fail. Stay until the end of this message, because in the final part 1 will reveal a sign so specific, it will confirm every word I've spoken and give you proof that this is not just another video. It is a divine appointment created to reroute your child's destiny before it's too late. And yet, as the clock ticks forward and your spirit stirs with unspoken knowing, the voice of heaven leans in closer, more urgent than before, more desperate for your attention because your child's destiny is being shaped in real time by forces that cannot be seen by the naked eye, only discerned through the soul. And Archangel Michael is holding back tears as he shields them from arrows you do not even know have been loosed in their direction. Spiritual arrows sent by envy, by hatred disguised, as affection, by whispers that appear as compliments but drip venom. And as you wonder how your child's light has dimmed or why their laughter echoes differently now, the truth is being revealed. There's a hand that has been touching their future in secret, leaving fingerprints on opportunities, sowing doubt in their confidence, lacing their dreams with fear disguised as realism. And that hand belongs to someone in your orbit, someone who claims love but speaks death into their vision, someone who wears a mask so, well, even you cannot see past it. And God says this is the hour to awaken, because if you wait, if you delay, if you ignore this moment, it will cost more than time. It will cost years of your child's purpose wandering in confusion. And I tell you now, through the voice of heaven, their angels are weeping because they cannot act without your agreement, without your command, without your alignment. And that is why Michael is shouting through this message. Stand up and war for them, not in fear but in light, not with trembling but with fire, for they are not too young to be attacked, and not too old to be stolen from. And as you sit there questioning if this message is really for you, God says this is your confirmation. Yes, it is. Yes, this is for you. Yes, your child is the one being watched by darkness and light alike. And the gates of destiny have opened right now, and they're waiting to see if you will enter them with the authority you've forgotten you have. Because when you were given that child, whether by blood, adoption, or divine assignment, heaven handed you keys, spiritual keys to protect, to command, to bless, to bind, and you've been using them like they're ordinary. But God says the moment you realize they're sacred, everything will change, because your word are laws over their life. Your prayers are shield around their path. Your discernment is a sword in the invisible realm. And you've grown tired, I know, but weariness is the final trick before breakthrough. Exhaustion is the last cloud before revelation. And if you speak life now, speak blessing now, speak reversal now, the very curses forming against them will scatter like dust, and you will see in the weeks to come the shift in their eyes, the return of their smile. The doors that seemed sealed start creaking open, and heaven will send you proof, dreams, signs, even strangers confirming what you now feel in your spirit but cannot yet explain. And you'll say, "This is the message that saved my child." And Michael says, "Let it be now, not tomorrow, not later now, because their time is sensitive, their window is narrow, and every moment matters. So anoint their name, anoint their room, speak life into their school, into their friends, into their future spouse, because what you say becomes what they live. And the curses being spoken behind their back in jealousy and hidden competition will fall powerless if you rise now and become the warrior heaven knows you are, because they're counting on you, not just your child, but the angels assigned to them, the ancestors praying for them, the saints watching over their future. And the enemy hopes you stay distracted just 10 more minutes, just long enough to miss this, but you didn't, you stayed. And because of that, this holy intervention is active now. And in the next part, you will be given the exact words you must speak over them to unlock the chain binding their promise. Do not miss it, because this next message will carry the power to erase the curse spoken just this morning. And now that you've come this far, heaven is releasing to you what was previously hidden behind veils of confusion and distraction, because the truth about your child's calling is more massive than even you have suspected, and that is why the enemy has been targeting them so violently. Not because they are weak, but because they carry a frequency in their spirit that makes hell tremble and angels stand at attention. And even now, as you breathe, their name is known in the heavens as one marked for miracles, one whose life was etched into divine scrolls before the earth was formed, one who has been chosen not to follow but to lead, not to conform but to break generational patterns that have kept your bloodline in stagnation. And God says, you think your child is just gifted, but they are more than gifted. They are a vessel being sculpted for a work that will outlive them and the forces that have tried to steal their voice, silence their joy, torment their mind, and tempt their soul. Know this, and that is why the pressure has increased, why confusion has crept in, why rebellion or isolation or even illness is knocked at the door. But Archangel Michael says, enough, enough, enough. No more shall your child be the target of spiritual assault while you walk in fear of being too intense. No more shall your love be passive, for your love must now become prophetic, commanding, and unwavering. Because what you decree in this hour will echo through their entire future, and heaven is giving you the exact weapon to use. You must speak their name, even if just in your heart, and declare over them these sacred words. You are not forgotten, you're not cursed, you are not broken, you are protected, you are destined, and you are rising now. And when you speak these words with conviction, the chains being wrapped around their opportunities will begin to melt like wax before holy fire. Because the truth is that this battle is not against your child's behavior or current struggles. It is a war for their future throne, a seat they have yet to sit in, a level of anointing they have yet to fully wear. And the enemy's only hope is to convince you to give up on them too soon, to let fear or pride or exhaustion silence the prayer they desperately need but will never ask for. And so heaven speaks through me to tell you, do not wait for them to cry out for them. Do not wait for them to return to you. Go to them in the Spirit through prayer and bind what seeks to consume them, because God has given you spiritual authority over them for a reason. And it was not just to provide physically or emotionally. It was to govern their destiny in partnership with heaven, to shield their calling until they can walk in it themselves. And you must know, child of God, that there are things being written about your child in the realm of angels. Reports that say, this one will carry deliverance. This one will carry healing. This one will set captives free. And those reports are why demons tremble when your child draws breath, why accidents were plotted against them but failed, why relationships meant to destroy their worth never fully succeeded, and why a cloud of protection has lingered around them even in moments of rebellion or despair. Because even then, especially then, heaven never stopped covering them, but now the covering requires your full participation. And that is why this message is not optional. It is not entertainment, it is a divine summoning. And as you sit with this truth unraveling in your chest, know this. God waited for this moment to speak because the window has arrived. The window where what you say and do can flip the entire outcome of your child's next season. And if you speak now, declare now, act now, you will witness a miracle unfold. Not a small change, but a sudden, undeniable shift that only divine intervention can create. And you will remember this very moment and say, this was the turning point, and heaven will rejoice because you listened, you stood up, and you fought for what is yours. And just as your child was once an answer to your prayers, now you are the answer to theirs, even if they haven't voiced it, even if they roll their eyes or seem distant or lost. Your love, your intercession, your fire is what their soul is crying for. And your child is watching you in more ways than you know, looking for evidence that love can still win. That light is still louder than shadows. And if you rise now, not with perfection, but with intention, the protection over their life will increase, the clarity over their mind will return, the blessings being delayed will be unlocked, and you will have been the one who broke the chain with a single act of faith. And so I beg you, with all the urgency heaven has placed in me, do not dismiss this. Do not scroll away. Do not say, maybe later, because the trap has been set, and only your obedience will cancel it. And in the final part of this message, Archangel Michael will reveal the identity of the spirit behind the trap and the final instruction to secure your child's divine destiny forever. And now we arrive at the most critical part of this divine message, the revelation that was guarded by angels and released only to the few who dared to reach this moment with an open heart. Because the truth is not everyone is ready to receive what you are about to hear, but you, the one still here, the one still reading, even as time slips away, you have proven yourself worthy of the next layer of truth. And Archangel Michael has been commanded by the Most High to reveal to you the exact nature of the spiritual trap that has been set against your child, and what you must now do to break it, because what has been operating behind the scenes is not merely a coincidence or a phase. It is a well-structured, generational assignment of sabotage that was released decades ago and passed down like a curse, waiting for the weakest moment to strike. And your child was chosen not because they are cursed, but because they are the one meant to end the curse. And that is why this battle has intensified so suddenly, so sharply, without warning, because you're on the edge of the breakthrough that was once impossible for your bloodline. And the enemy knows if your child escapes this trap, your entire future lineage will walk in favor and light and legacy without interruption. And so the trap has taken many forms: comparison, shame, isolation, cycles of depression, addiction, rejection, academic failures, toxic influences, financial misfortune, even strange illnesses that doctors can't explain. And each one was a piece of a larger puzzle designed to keep your child confused about their worth and disconnected from the power within them. But what the enemy did not account for is your awakening, your authority, and the fact that heaven would intervene before midnight with this message. And now that you know, now that the veil has been torn, it is time to act boldly, because in the spirit realm, time is accelerating, and delays now come with great cost, but miracles still come to those who act in faith. And so the instructions you are about to receive are not symbolic. They are literal, powerful, and spiritually binding. You must go to the space where your child sleeps or rests. And if they do not live with you, then you must hold an item that represents them: a piece of clothing, a photo, or even their full name written on paper. And you must speak aloud these words 3 times, with full focus and no fear. I break every chain that was placed upon your name. I cancel every curse spoken behind your back. I close every door that was opened without my knowledge. I place the fire of God between you and every spirit sent to destroy you. And I claim your calling back in full. These are not empty words. These are weapons. These are the exact phrases that cause demons to scatter and angels to respond. And when you speak them, Archangel Michael will draw his sword on your behalf, and a divine firewall will begin forming around your child's path. And from that moment, there will be signs, clear, irrefutable evidence that something has shifted. Their behavior will change, their dreams will become vivid, their inner light will begin to flicker again, even if faintly. And the heaviness around your home will begin to lift, because a decision in the spirit breaks patterns in the natural. And what you just spoke was not a request. It was a royal decree backed by heaven itself. And for those who still doubt, for those who say, "This is too much, this is too intense," I ask you this: how many nights have you cried over your child? How many mornings have you woken up with fear in your chest, wondering if you're losing them? How many times have you whispered, "God, please just show me what to do"? Well, this is it. This is that moment. And if you don't respond now, the enemy will press harder. But if you do, then not only will the trap fail, but the very weapon that was formed will become the proof of your child's divine protection. Because what was sent to harm them will become the testimony that sets others free. And now, finally, Archangel Michael is revealing the identity of the spirit behind this trap. And it may shock you. Not a stranger, not a random curse, but a jealous relative or close connection who once praised your child publicly but resented their light privately. Someone who felt threatened by your child's favor even as a baby. Someone who spoke things like they'll never make it, they're too much, or they'll turn out just like so-and-so. These words, even said in jest or bitterness, were spiritual arrows, and they found cracks in your child's armor during moments of vulnerability. But now that you know the source, you must forgive, but you must also revoke. You must revoke every curse, spoken or unspoken, and you must anoint your child again in prayer, as if it were their first day on earth, because God is resetting their spiritual timeline, erasing the damage, and rewriting their outcome. Not because you begged, but because you believed. And so this final part ends with one last divine instruction. Tonight, before you sleep, light a candle, not for ritual, but for remembrance. Let the flame be your symbol that light will always win. As it burns, say your child's name aloud and speak blessings over their next 10 years as if they were already walking in their purpose. Do this, and heaven will record your words. Do this, and your child's future will be sealed in divine favor. Do this, and you will have completed the mission God gave only to you, to be the warrior parent your child's soul cried out for in this critical hour. Now rise, chosen one, and do not look back. The trap has been seen, the light has been released, and your child is about to rise.